Want to know who we are gentlemen of Japan. On many a vase and jar, on many a screen and fan, we figure in lively pace, our attitudes queer and quaint. You're wrong if you think it ain't. If you think we'll work like strings, like a Japanese marionette, you don't understand these things. It is simply court etiquette. Perhaps you'll cause it wrong and kick it up all day long. If that's your idea, you're wrong. If that's your idea, you're wrong. If you want to know who we are gentlemen of Japan. On bass and drum, on string and fan, on many, 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 many a job. On bass and drum, on string and fan.
Gentlemen, I pray you tell me where a gentle maiden dwelleth named Yum Yum, the ward of Coco. In pity speak, oh speak, I pray you.
Why, who are you who asks this question?
Come, gather round me, and I'll tell you. A wandering minstrel I, a thing of shreds and patches, of ballad songs and snatches, and dreamy lullaby. My catalogue is long through every passion ranging, and to your humors changing, I tune my simple song. I tune my simple song. Are you in sentimental mood? I'll sigh with you. Oh, sorrow. On maiden's coldness do you brood? I'll do so too. Oh, sorrow, sorrow. I'll charm your willing ears with songs of lovers' fears, while sympathetic tears my cheeks bedew. Oh, sorrow, sorrow. but patriotic sentiment is wanted. I've patriotic ballads cut and dried, for where'er our country's banner may be planted, all other local banners are defined. Of warriors and serried ranks assembled, and never quail and conceal it if they do. And I shouldn't be surprised if nations trembled for the mighty troops, the troops of Titipu.
We shouldn't be surprised if nations trembled when the one for the mighty troops, the troops of Titipu.
And if you call for a song of the sea, we'll leave the capstan round. With a yo-heave-ho, for the wind is free. Hooray, there's a trip and our helms a lee. Hurrah for the homeward bound.
Yo-ho-heave-ho, hurrah for the homeward bound.
To lay aloft in a howling breeze may tickle a landsman's taste, but the happiest hour a sailor sees is when he's down in an inland town with his Nancy on his knee. Yo-ho! And his arm around her waist.
Then when the capstan off we go, as the billow swings us round.
With a yo-heave-ho and a rum-below, hurrah for the homeward bound. With a yo-heave-ho and a rum-below. Yo-heave-ho, yo-ho, heave-ho, 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 yo-ho. A wandering minstrel I, a thing of shreds and patches, of ballads, songs, and snatches, and dreamy lullaby, and dreamy
And what might be your business with Yum Yum?
Well, I'll tell you. A year ago, I was a member of the Titipu Town Band. It was my duty to take the cap round for contributions. While discharging this delicate office, I saw Yum Yum, and we loved each other at once. But she was betrothed to her guardian, Coco, a cheap tailor. And I saw that my suit was hopeless. Overwhelmed with despair, I quitted the town. But judge of my delight when I heard a month ago that Coco was to be condemned to death for flirting. And so I hurried back to town in the hopes of finding Yum Yum at liberty to listen to my protestations.
It is true that Coco was condemned to death for flirting, but he was reprieved at the last moment and raised to the exalted rank of Lord High Executioner under the following remarkable circumstances. A great Mikado, virtuous man, when he to rule our land began, resolved to try a plan whereby young men might best be steadied. So he decreed in words succinct that all who flirted, leered, or winked, unless connubially linked, should forthwith be beheaded, 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 should forthwith be beheaded. And I expect you'll all agree that he was right to so decree. And I am right, and you are right, and all is right as right can be.
And you are right, and we are right, and all is right as right can be.
And all is right as right can be. Right as right can be. This stern decree, you will understand, caused great dismay throughout the land, for young and old and shy and bold were equally affected. The youth who winked a roving eye, or breathed a non-connubial sigh, was thereupon condemned to die. He usually objected, objected, objected. He respectfully objected. And you'll allow, as I expect, that he was right to so object. And I am right, and you are right, and everything is quite correct.
And you are right, and we are right, and everything is quite correct.
And everything is quite correct. All is quite correct. And so we straight let out on bail a convict from the county jail, whose head was next on some pretext condemned to be mown off, and made him headsman, for he said, who's next to be decapitated cannot cut off another's head until he's cut his own off, his own off, his own off, until he's cut his own off. And you are right, I think you'll say, to argue in this kind of way. And I am right, and you are right, and everything is lurale.
And you are right, and we are right, and all is right, and lurale.
And I am right, and you are right, and all is right.
Coco, the cheap tailor, Lord High Executioner of Tittipoo. Why, that's the highest rank a citizen can attain.
It is illogical, Mikado, seeing no moral difference between the dignified judge who condemns a criminal to die and the industrious mechanic who carries out the sentence, has rolled the two offices into one. Every judge is now his own executioner.
But how good of you, for I see that you are a nobleman of the highest rank, to condescend to tell all this to me, a mere strolling minstrel.
Don't mention it. I am in point of fact a particularly haughty and exclusive person of pre-Adamite ancestral descent. You will understand this when I tell you that I can trace my ancestry back to a protoplasmal primordial atomic globule. Consequently, my family pride is something inconceivable. I can't help it. I was born sneering. But I struggle hard to overcome this defect. I mortify my pride continually when all the great officers of state resigned in a body because they were too proud to serve under an exhaler. Did I not unhesitatingly accept all their posts at once?
And the salaries attached to them. You did.
It is consequently my degrading duty to serve this upstart as First Lord of the Treasury, Lord Chief Justice, Commander-in-Chief, Lord High Admiral, Master of the Backhands, Groom of the Backstairs, Archbishop of Tittipoo, and Lord Mayor, both acting and elect, all rolled into one, and at a salary. A poobah paid for his services, and I a salaried minion. But I do it. It revolts me, but I do it.
And it does you credit.
But I don't stop at that. I go and dine with middle-class families on reasonable terms. I dance at cheap suburban parties for a moderate fee. I accept refreshment at any hands, however lowly. I also retail state secrets at a very low figure. For instance, any further information concerning Yum Yum would come under the head of a state secret. Another insult, and I think a light one. Young man despair, likewise go to Yum Yum the fair. You must not woo, it will not do. I'm sorry for you, you very imperfect ablutioner. This very day from school, Yum Yum will went away and homeward come with beat of drum. and a rum-tum-tum to with the Lord High Executioner. And the brass will crash, and the trumpets play, and she'll cut a dash on her wedding day. She'll toddle away as all ever with the Lord High Executioner.
And the brass will crash, and the trumpets bray, and they'll cut a dash on her wedding day. She'll toddle away as all ever with the Lord High Executioner.
It's a hopeless case, as you may see, and in your place away I'd flee. But don't blame me, I'm sorry to be of your pleasure a diminutioner. They'll vow their pact extremely soon. In point of fact, this afternoon, her honeymoon with that buffoon at 7 commences, so you should have. And the brass will crash, and the trumpets play, and they'll cut a dash on her wedding day. She'll toddle away as Oliver with the Lord High Executioner.
And the brass will crash, and the trumpets play, and they'll cut a dash on her wedding day. She'll toddle away as Oliver with the Lord High Executioner.
Do you mean to tell me that I've traveled for nearly a month just to find that Yum Yum, whom I love so dearly, is to be united with Coco?
The fact appears to be as you've recited. Here they come now, well equipped to suit their station. They'll give you any further information.
Behold the Lord High Executioner, a personage of noble rank and title, a dignified and potent officer, whose functions are particularly vital. Defer to the Lord High Executioner. Defer to the noble Lord, to the noble Lord, to the Lord High Executioner. Taken from the county jail by a set of furious chances, liberated then unveiled by my own recognizances, wafted by a favoring gale, as one sometimes is in trances, to a height that few can scale, save by long and weary dances. Surely never had a meal under such like circumstances, so adventurous a tale which may rank with most romances. Taken from the county jail by a set of curious chances, surely never had a meal so adventurous a tale. Defer to the Lord High Executioner. Defer to the noble Lord, to the noble Lord High Executioner. Bow down to the Lord High Executioner. Defer to the noble Lord High Executioner.
Gentlemen, I'm much touched by this reception. I can only trust that by strict attention to duty, I shall ensure a continuance of those favors which will ever be my study to deserve. If I should ever be called upon to act professionally, I am happy to think that there will be no difficulty in finding plenty of people whose loss will be a distinct gain to society at large. As someday it may happen that a victim must be found, I've got a little list of society offenders who might well be underground and who never would be missed. There's the children who think talking without words is rather swell. Well, I'm sorry, BFF, but OMG, that's LOL. Those gadget-driven zombies lurching through the streets like mad, who would cut your throat to cut in line to get the new iPad. The telephone solicitors who simply won't assist, they'd none of them be missed.
He's got them on the list. He's got them on the list. And they'll none of them be missed. There'll none of them be missed.
There's the hip-hop serenader whom you want to spray with mace. The heavy metalist, Aerosmith is on the list. And the people who smoke cigarettes and puff it in your face, they never would be missed. There's the idiot denouncing with enthusiastic tone every football team but his and every city but his own. The man who sits beside you on the plane and wants to talk, whose jabbering inspires you to stab him with your fork. The amateur who do my part much better, he'd insist. I don't think he'd be missed. I'm sure you'd not be missed.
He's got them on the list. He's got them on the list. And they'll none of them be missed. There'll none of them be missed.
There's that Justin Bieber nuisance who just cannot drive or sing. That twerking Miley Cyrus, I've got her on the list. And God's gift to modern music, the American Idol list. They'd none of them be missed. Politicians who take naughty photos of themselves by phone, thereby broadcasting shortcomings that already are well known. The idiots who gave us all reality TV, I wish Hannibal the cannibal would have them around for tea. But it really doesn't matter whom you put upon the list, for they none of them be missed. They'd none of them be missed.
You may put them on the list. You may put them on the list. And they'll none of them be missed. They'll none of them be missed.
Poobah! It seems that the festivities in connection with my approaching marriage must last a week. I should like to do it handsomely, and I want to consult you as to the amount I ought to spend upon them.
Yes, certainly. In which of my capacities? As First Lord of the Treasury, Lord Chief Justice, Lord Chamberlain, Attorney General, Chancellor of the Exchequer, Privy Purse, or Private Secretary?
Suppose we say as Private Secretary.
Speaking as your Private Secretary, I should say that as the city will have to pay for it, don't stint yourself, do it well.
Exactly, as the city will have to pay for it. That is your advice.
As Private Secretary, of course you will understand that, as Chancellor of the Exchequer, I am bound to see that due economy is observed.
Oh, but you said just now don't stint yourself, do it well.
As Private Secretary.
And now you say due economy must be observed.
As Chancellor of the Exchequer.
I see. Come over here where the Chancellor can't hear us. Now then, as my solicitor, how would you advise me to deal with this difficulty?
I was your solicitor. I should have no hesitation in saying chanced.
Thank you. I will.
If it were not that, as Lord Chief Justice, I am bound to see that the law isn't violated.
I see. Come over here where the Chief Justice can't hear us. Now then, as First Lord of the Treasury?
Oh, As First Lord of the Treasury, I could propose a special vote that would cover all expenses. If it were not that, as leader of the opposition, it would be my duty to resist it tooth and nail. Or, as Paymaster General, I could so cook the accounts that as Lord High Auditor, I should never discover the fraud. But then, as Archbishop of Titipu, it would be my duty to denounce my dishonesty and give myself in to my own custody as First Commissioner of Police.
Well, that's extremely awkward.
I don't say that all these distinguished people couldn't be squared, but it is right to tell you that they wouldn't be sufficiently degraded in their own estimation unless they were insulted with a very considerable bribe.
The matter will have my careful consideration. But my bride and her sister's approach, and any little compliment on your part, such as an abject grovel and a characteristic Japanese attitude, would be esteemed a favor. My bride that is to be.
You're not going to kiss me before all of these people.
Well, I'm certainly not going to kiss you after them.
It seems odd, doesn't it?
It's rather peculiar.
Oh, I expect it's all right. It must have a beginning, you know.
Well, of course, I know nothing of these things, but I've no objection if it's usual.
Oh, it's quite usual. I think. Hey, Lord Chamberlain?
I have known it done.
Thank goodness that's over. Why, it's never you.
They tell us in the newspaper received about Edward. We've been told, thank goodness it's all over now. We've told you, and we're not going back anymore.
I beg your pardon. Will you present me?
Oh,
This is only naked boots.
Oh, one at a time, if you please.
Oh, if you please, this is the gentleman who used to play so beautifully on the...
On the Marine Parade.
Yes, I think that was the name of the instrument.
Sir, I have the misfortune to love your ward, Yum Yum. Oh, I know I must deserve your anger.
Anger? Oh, not a bit, my boy. Why, I love her myself. Charming little girl, isn't she? Pretty eyes, nice hair. Taking little thing altogether. Very glad to hear my opinion backed by such a competent authority. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Take 'em away.
Goodbye. I beg your pardon, but what is this? Customer come to try on?
That is a tremendous swell.
It's alive.
Go away, little girls, go away. Can't talk to little girls like you. Go away, there's deals.
Allow me to present you, Pooh-Bah. These are my 3 wards. The one in the middle is my bride-elect.
Well, what do you want me to do with them? Mind you, I will not kiss them.
No, you shan't kiss them. A little bow, a mere nothing. You needn't mean it, you know.
Well, it goes against the grain. They are not young ladies, they are young, persons.
Oh, come, make an effort. There's a good nobleman.
Well, I shan't mean it. How to do, little girls? How to do? Oh! My protoplasmal ancestors.
That's very good.
I see nothing to laugh at. It is very painful for me to have to say, how do you do, little girls? How do you do? I'm not in the habit of saying, how do you do, little girls? How do you do? To anybody under the rank of a stockbroker.
Oh, don't laugh at him. He can't help it. He's under treatment for it. Oh, never mind them. They don't understand the delicacy of your position.
We understand how delicate it is, don't we?
Oh, I should think we did. How a nobleman of your importance can do it at all is a thing I never can, never shall understand.
So please very much regret if we have failed in etiquette. Towards a man of rank so high, we shall know better by and by.
But a youth, of course, must have its fling, so pardon us, so pardon us.
And don't engulf its happy spring, be hard on us, if we're inclined to dance and sing tra-la-la-la-la-la.
But youth, of course, must have its fling, so pardon us, and don't tingle. Its happy spring be hard on us.
Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, 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 tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la,
I think you ought to recollect you cannot show too much respect towards the highly titled few, but nobody does, and why should you? That youth, of course, must have its fling. Is hard on us, to all prerogative we cling. So pardon us if we decline to dance and sing tra-la-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la.
But youth, of course, must have its fling, so pardon us, and don't tingle. Whose happy spring be hard on us. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la, 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 tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Yum Yum. Oh, alas, we are alone. I have sought you night and day for 3 weeks in the belief that your guardian was beheaded, and now I find that you are to marry him this afternoon.
Alas, yes.
Oh, but you do not love him.
Alas, no.
Oh, modified rapture! Oh, but why do you not refuse him?
What good would that do? He is my guardian, and he wouldn't let me marry you.
But I would wait until you're of age.
You forget that in Japan, girls do not reach age of discretion until they are 50.
True. For the years 14 to 49 are considered years of indiscretion.
Besides, a wandering minstrel who plays a wind instrument outside tea houses is hardly the fitting husband for the ward of the Lord High Executioner.
Oh, but... shall I tell her?
Well, it's going to be a pretty short show if you don't tell her.
That's true. She won't betray me. What if it should prove that I am, after all, no musician?
There! I was certain of it. Directly I heard you play.
What if it should prove that I am, after all, the son of His Majesty, the Mikado?
Ooh, the son of the Mikado? But why is your Highness in disguise? And what has your Highness done? And does your Highness promise to never do it again?
Some years ago, I had the misfortune of captivating Katisha, an elderly woman in my father's court. She misconstrued my customary affability into expressions of affection and claimed me in marriage under my father's law. My father, the Lucius Junius Brutus of his race, demanded that I marry her within the week or perish ignominiously on the scaffold. That night, I fled his court, and assuming the disguise of a second trombone, I joined the band in which you found me, and I had the happiness of seeing you.
Oh, if you please, I think your Highness better not come too near, for the laws against flirting are excessively severe.
But we are quite alone, and no one can see us.
Still, it doesn't make it right. To flirt is capital.
Oh, it is capital.
And we must obey the law.
Deuce, take the law!
Oh, I wish it would, but it won't.
If it wasn't for the law, how happy we would be.
Happy indeed.
If it wasn't for the law, we would be sitting side by side. Like that.
Instead of being obliged to sit half-mile off. Like that.
We would be gazing into each other's eyes. Like that.
Oh, breathing sighs of unutterable love. Ah! Like that.
With our arms around each other's waists. Like that.
Yes, if it wasn't for the law.
If it wasn't for the law.
As it is, of course, we couldn't do anything of the kind.
Oh, not for worlds.
Being engaged to Coco, you know.
Being engaged to Coco. Were you not to Coco plighted, I would say in tender tone, loved one, let us be united, let us be each other's own. I would merge all rank and station, worldly sneers are not to us, so to mark my admiration, I would kiss you fondly thus. I would kiss you fondly thus.
But as I'm engaged to Coco, to embrace you thus confoco would distinctly be no joco, and for that I should get Toco.
Toco. So in spite of all temptation, such a theme I'll not discuss, and on no consideration will I kiss you fondly thus. Will I kiss you fondly thus? That let me make it clear to you. This is what I'll never do. This, oh this, oh this, oh this. This is what I'll never, never do. This, oh this, oh this, oh this. This is what I'll never do.
You'll never do.
I'll never do.
You'll never do.
Oh, this is what I'll never, never do.
Oh, there she goes. To think how entirely my future happiness is wrapped up in that little parcel. Really, it hardly seems worthwhile. Oh, matrimony! Now then, what is it? Can't you see I'm soliloquizing? You've interrupted an apostrophe, sir.
I am the bearer of a letter from His Majesty, the Mikado.
A letter from the Mikado? What in the world can you have to say to me? Here it is. I thought it would come sooner or later. The Mikado is struck by the fact that no executions have taken place in Titipu for a year, and decrees unless somebody's beheaded within 1 month, the post of Lord High Executioner shall... What? The post of Lord High Executioner shall be abolished, and the city reduced to the rank of village.
We'll be village people! Why? That will involve us all in irretrievable ruin.
Oh, yes. There's no help for it. I shall have to execute somebody at once. The only question is, who shall it be?
Well, it seems unkind to say so, but seeing as you're already under sentence of death for flirting, everything seems to point to you.
To me? What are you talking about? I can't execute myself.
Why not?
Why not? Because in the first place, self-decapitation is a very difficult, not to say dangerous thing to attempt. And in the second, it's suicide, and suicide is a capital offense.
That is so, no doubt.
We might reserve that point. Huh?
True, it could be argued 6 months hence before the full court.
Besides, I don't see how a man can cut off his own head.
A man might try.
Even if you only succeeded in cutting it half off, that would be something.
It would be taken as an earnest of your desire to comply with the imperial will.
No, pardon me, but there I am adamant. As official headsman, my reputation is at stake, and I can't consent to embark on a professional operation unless I see my way to a successful result.
This professional conscientiousness is highly creditable to you, but it places us in a rather awkward position.
My good sir, the awkwardness of your situation is great itself compared with that of a man engaging in the act of cutting off his own head.
I am afraid that unless we can find a substitute?
A substitute? Oh, certainly. Nothing easier. Poobah! I appoint you Lord High Substitute.
Certainly. Such an appointment would realize my fondest dreams. But no, at any sacrifice, I must set bounds to my insatiable ambition. I am so proud if I allowed my family pride to be my guide. I'd volunteer to quit this sphere instead of you in a minute or two. But family pride must be denied and set aside and mortified and mortified.
My brain it teems with endless schemes, both good and new for Titipu. But if I flit the benefit, then I diffuse a town would lose. Now every man to aid his clan should plot and plan as best he can.
that gentlemen say the criminals who are cut in two can hardly feel the fatal steel, and so are slain without much pain. If it is true, it's jolly for you, your courage grew to bid us adieu.
I am so proud.
My brain it teems with endless schemes of good and new. For titty boo. But if I think the benefit, then I diffuse the downward limits. Now every man to aid his pleasures, plot and plan as best he can. And so, although I'm ready to go, yet recollect we're disrespected, I neglect to thus affect the same direct. So I object.
And so, although I wish to grow and greatly pine to brightly shine and take the line of a hero fine with grief condign, I must decline.
And go and show both friend and foe how much you dare. I'm quite aware it's your affair, yet I declare I take your share, but I don't much care.
I must
So I object,
I don't much care.
So I object, I don't much care. So I object,
I must decline.
To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock, in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a chippy chopper on a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock, in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a chippy chopper on a big black block. A dull, dark dock, a lifelong lock, a short, sharp shock, a big black block. To sit in solemn silence in a pestilential prison and awaiting the sensation from a chippy chopper on a big black block. Oh, this is simply appalling. I, who allowed myself to be respited simply in order to benefit my native town, am now required to die within a month, and that by a man whom I have loaded with honors. Is this public gratitude? Is this... Oh, go away, sir. How dare you? Am I never to be permitted to soliloquize?
No, go on. Don't mind me.
What are you going to do with that rope?
Well, I'm about to terminate an unendurable existence.
Terminate your existence? Nonsense, sir. What for?
Because you're about to marry the woman I adore.
Nonsense, sir. I won't permit it. I'm a humane man, and if you attempt anything of the kind, I shall order your instant arrest. Come, sir, desist at once, or I summon my guard.
Well, that's absurd. If you attempt to raise an alarm, well, I will perform the happy dispatch with this dagger.
No, don't do that. Oh, this is horrible. Why, you cold-blooded scoundrel, are you aware that by taking your life, you're committing a crime? Which is... Substitute.
Oh, well, what's the matter?
Are you absolutely certain you were resolved to die?
Oh, absolutely.
Will nothing shake your resolution?
Nothing.
Threats, entreaties, prayers, all useless?
All. My mind is made up.
Well, if you really might mean what you say, and you're absolutely resolved to die, and nothing whatever will shake your determination, don't spoil yourself by committing suicide, but be beheaded handsomely by the hands of the public executioner.
Well, I don't see how that would benefit me.
You don't. Observe. You'll have a month to live, and you live like a fighting cock at my expense. When the day comes, there'll be a grand public ceremonial. You'll be at the central figure. No one will attempt to deprive you of that distinction. There'll be a procession, bands, dead march, bells tolling. All the girls in tears, yum, distracted. Then, when it's all over, general rejoicings and a display of fireworks in the evening. Boo, 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 boo. Pew. Pa! Oh, you won't see them, but they'll be there all the same.
Oh, you don't think that Yum Yum would be distracted by my death, do you?
Oh, I am convinced of it. Bless you. She's the most tender-hearted little creature alive.
Oh, and yet I would hate to have to cause her any pain. Oh, I suppose I could withdraw from Japan and travel around Europe for a couple of years. I might contrive to forget her.
No, I don't think you can forget Yum Yum so easily. After all, what is more miserable than a love-blighted life?
Oh, true.
Oh, life without Yum Yum. Why, it seems absurd.
Oh, and yet there are quite so many people in the world who have to endure it.
Oh, poor fellows, yes. You were quite right not to be of their number.
No, I won't be of their number.
Noble fellow.
I'll tell you how we'll manage this. You let me marry Yum Yum tomorrow, and in a month you may behead me.
No. I draw the line at Yum Yum.
Very well. If you can draw the line on it, so can I.
Stop, be reasonable. How can I consent to your marrying Yum Yum if I'm going to marry her myself?
Oh, my good fellow, she'll be a widow in a month. You can marry her then.
Well, that's true, of course. I quite see that. Oh, but dear me, my position during the next month will be most unpleasant. Most unpleasant.
Well, not half so unpleasant as my position at the end of it.
But, oh, dear me. Well, I agree. After all, it's only putting off my wedding for a month. But you won't prejudice her against me, will you? You see, I've educated her to be my wife. She's been taught to regard me as a wise and a good man. Now, I wouldn't like her views on that point disturbed.
Oh, trust me. She'll never learn the truth from me.
With aspect stern and gloomy stride, we come to learn how you decide. Don't hesitate, your choice to make. A dreadful fate will suffer all the same. A dreadful fate will suffer all the same.
To ask you what you mean to do, we punctually appear.
Congratulate me, gentlemen, I found a volunteer.
The Japanese equivalent for
Tis Nanky Poo.
Hail, Nakey Poo.
I think he'll do.
Yes, he'll do.
He yields his life if I Yum Yum surrender. But I adore that girl with passion tender, and could not yield her with a ready will, or her a loss, if I did not adore myself with passion tender still, with passion tender still.
Oh, yes, he loves himself with passion tender still.
Take her. She's yours.
The threatened cloud has passed
Bright
away.
shines the eternity.
But though the night may come too
Yet
soon,
above the afternoon.
then let the throng of joy advance with laughing song and merry dance, and let the throng
throng our joy advance with laughing song and merry dance, with laughing song and merry dance, with laughing song. With joy a shout and ringing cheer, in all good ways, in all good winds, every good year. Joy a shout and ringing cheer, in all good ways, every good year. Joy a shout and ringing cheer, in all good ways, every good year.
A day, a week, a month, a year.
I've seen time comes much too soon.
You'll live and taste a honeymoon.
May let the throng our joy advance with laughing song and merry dance.
And let the throng our joy advance with laughing song and merry dance, with laughing song and merry dance, with laughing song. With joy a shout and ringing cheer, in all good ways, in all good winds, every good year. Joy a shout and ringing cheer, in all good ways, every good year. Joy a shout and ringing cheer, in all good ways, every good year. Laughing song, merry dance, with laughing song and merry dance.
As we are bound to die, but no tears of blood. 'Twere an empty compliment by your right to let me go. But as my life you have to live as first and this toast with which I'm slaying you. Long life to you. Long life to you. Long life to you.
May all good fortune prosper you. May you have health, may you have health and riches too. May all good fortune prosper you. May you have health and riches too. May you succeed in all you do. Long life to you till then.
You rebel cease, assist me, all of you.
Whose evil eyes rain bright on our festivities.
I claim my perjured lover, Nanky Poo. Oh, fool to shun delights that never cloy.
To leave the deadly work undone.
Come back, oh shallow fool, come back to joy.
Away, ill-favored one.
Ah, 'tis Katasha, the maid of whom I told you.
No, you shall not go. These arms shall thus unfold you. O fool that fleest my hallowed joys, O blind that seest no equipoise, O rush that judgest from half the whole, O base that grudgest love's light stole, thy heart unbind, O fool, O blind, give me my place, O rash, O base. Thy heart unbind, give me my place, O fool, O blind, O rash, O base. Thy heart unbind, give me my place.
If she's thy bride, restore her place. O fool, O blind, O rash, O base.
Pink cheek that rulest where wisdom serves, bright eye that fullest heroic nerves, rose lip that scornest law-laden years, smooth tongue who warnest who rightly hears. Thy doom is nigh, pink cheek, bright eye. Thy knell is rung, rose lip, smooth tongue. Thy doom is nigh, thy knell is rung, pink cheek, bright eye, rose lip, smooth tongue. Thy doom is nigh, thy knell is rung.
If through her tale thy knell is rung, pink cheek, bright eye, rose lip,
Thy tune is right, thy tune is wrong, thy knell is wrong.
Away, nor prosecute your quest from our intention well expressed. You cannot turn us. The state of your connubial views towards the person you accuse does not concern us. For he's going to marry Yum Yum.
Yum Yum.
You'll anger my mammy, for all will be married. I think you had better succumb.
Come.
And join our expressions of glee. On this subject we pray you be dumb. You'll find there are many who went for a penny. The word for this guidance is mum.
Mum.
There's lots of good fish in the sea.
On this subject we pray you be dumb. Come. We think you had better succumb. Come. You'll find there are many who went for a penny. There are lots of good fish in the sea. There are lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea, in the sea, in the sea, in the sea, in the sea.
The hour of gladness is dead and gone. In silent sadness I live alone. The hope I cherished all lifeless lies, and all has perished, all has perished, save a love that never dies, that never dies. O faithless one, this insult you shall rue. In vain for mercy on your knees you sue. I'll tear the mask from your disguising.
Now comes the blow.
Prepare yourselves for news surprising.
How foil my foe?
No minstrelly, despite bravado.
I know.
He is the son of your. In vain you interrupt with this tornado. He's the only son of your. I'll spawn. Gay Gumbardo, he's the son of your. Son of your. Ye torrents roar, ye tempests howl, your wrath outpour with angry growl. Do ye your worst, my vengeance call shall rise triumphant over all.
No more eloping down to join resort despite your scalp. The echoes of our festive love
Prepare for woe, ye haughty lords. At once I go, Mikado wards.
Away you go, collect your voice, proclaim your woe in dismal voice.
We do not need your dismal sound.
For joy reigns my rose wings dance.
Braid the maiden's hair with the supple tress. Deck the maiden fair in loveliness. Paint a pretty face, dye the coral lip. Emphasize the grace of her ladyship. Art and nature, oh, sunlight, go to make a pretty bride. Art and nature, the sunlight, go to make a pretty bride. Sit with downcast eye, let it brim with dew. Try if you can cry, we will do so too. When your summon starts, like a frightened roe, flutter, little heart, color, come and go. Modesty at marriage tide well becomes a pretty bride. Modesty at marriage tide well becomes a pretty bride. Braid the maiden hair with the supple tress. Deck the maiden fair in her loveliness. Paint a pretty face, dye the coral lip. Emphasize the grace of her ladyship. Art and nature, the sunlight, go to make a pretty bride. Art and nature, the sunlight, go to make a pretty
Yes, I am indeed beautiful. Sometimes I sit and wonder in my artless Japanese way why it is that I am so much more attractive than anyone in the world. Can this be vanity? No. Nature is lovely and rejoices in her loveliness, and I am a child of nature. And take after my mother. The sun whose rays are all ablaze with ever-living glory does not deny his majesty. He scorns to tell a story. He won't exclaim, I blush for shame, so kindly be indulgent. But fierce and bold in fiery gold, he glories all effulgent. I mean to rule the earth as he the sky. We really know our worth, the sun and I mean to rule the earth as he the sky. We really know our worth, the sun and Observe his flame in that placid dame, the moon's celestial highness. There's not a trace upon her face of diffidence or shyness. She borrows light that through the night mankind may all acclaim her. But truth to tell, she lights up well, and I for one don't blame her. Ah, pray make no mistake, we are not shy. We're very wide awake, the moon and Ah, pray make no mistake, we are not shy. We're very wide awake, the moon and I. Yes, everything seems to smile upon me. I am to be married today to the man that I love best, and I believe that I am the happiest girl in Japan.
The happiest girl, indeed, for she is indeed to be envied, who has attained happiness in all things but perfection.
In all things but perfection?
Well, dear, it can't be denied that the fact that your husband is to be beheaded in a month is in its own way a drawback. It does seem to take the top off it, you know?
I don't know about that. It all depends.
At all events, he will find it a drawback.
Not necessarily. Bless you, it all depends.
Well, I think it is very indelicate of you to talk about such a subject on such a day. If my married happiness is to be
short!
Well, cut short in a month. Why just can't you let me forget it?
Oh, Yum Yum in tears. And on her wedding morn.
They've been reminding me that in a month you are to be beheaded.
Yes, we've been reminding her that you're to be beheaded.
It's quite true, you know. You are to be beheaded.
Now, some bridegrooms will be depressed by this sort of thing. A month? Well, what's a month? Now, these divisions of times are purely arbitrary. Who says 24 hours makes a day?
There's a popular expression to that effect.
Well, then we'll efface it. We'll call each second a minute, each minute an hour, each hour a day, and each day a year. And at that rate, we've about 30 years of married happiness before us.
And at that rate, this interview has already lasted 4 hours and 3/4.
Oh, how time flies when one is thoroughly enjoying oneself.
Oh, that's the way to look at it. Don't let's be downhearted. There's a silver lining to every cloud.
Certainly. Let's be perfectly happy.
By all means, let's thoroughly enjoy ourselves.
It's absurd to cry.
Quite ridiculous. Brightly dawns our wedding day.
Joyous are we, give thee greeting. Whither art thou fleeting? Fickle moment, prithee stay. Fickle moment, prithee stay.
Pleasures come if sorrows follow.
Though the tocsin sound ere long, though the tocsin sound ere long, sound ere long. Ding dong, ding dong. Yet until the shadows fall over one and over all,
Sing a merry madrigal.
sing a merry madrigal, sing a merry madrigal. La la la, la la, la 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 la, la 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 la la
Oh, go on. Don't mind me.
Well, I'm afraid we're distressing you.
Never mind, I must get used to it. Only, please do it by degrees. Begin by putting your arm around her waist. There. Let me get used to that first.
Wouldn't you like to retire? It must pain you to see us so affectionate together.
No, I must learn to bear it. Now, oblige me by allowing her head to rest on your shoulder.
Like that?
Oh, I'm much obliged to you. Now, kiss her. Thank you. It's simple torture.
Oh, come, bear up. After all, this is only for a month.
No, it's no use deluding oneself with false hopes.
What do you mean?
Oh, my child. My poor child. How shall I break it to her? My little bride that was to have been.
Was to have been.
Oh, yes, you never can be mine.
I'm so glad!
Well, I've just ascertained that by the Mikado's law, when a married man is beheaded, his wife is buried alive.
Buried alive.
Buried alive. It's the most unpleasant death.
But whom did you get that from?
Oh, from Poobah. He's my solicitor.
But he may have been mistaken.
So I thought. So I consulted the Attorney General, the Lord Chief Justice, the Master of the Rolls, the Judge Ordinary, and the Lord Chancellor. They're all of the same opinion. Never knew such unanimity on a point of law in my life.
But stop a bit. This law has never been put to force.
Not yet. You see, flirting is the only crime punishable with decapitation, and married men never flirt.
Well, that's right. I quite forgot that. I suppose I may take it that my dream of happiness is at an end.
Darling, I don't want to appear selfish, and I love you with all of my heart. In fact, I don't think I shall ever love anyone half as much. But when I agreed to marry you, my own, I had no idea that in a month I was to be buried alive.
Oh, nor I. Well, it's the first I've heard of it.
It does make a difference, doesn't it?
Well, it does make a difference, of course.
You see, being buried alive, it's such a stuffy death.
Yes, I call it a beast of a death.
You can see my difficulty, can't you?
Oh, yes, and I see my own. For if I insist on you carrying out your promise to me, I doom you to a hideous death. And if I release you, you marry Coco at once.
Here's a howdy-do, if I marry you. When your time has come to perish, then the maiden whom you cherish must be slaughtered too. Here's a howdy-do, here's a howdy-do.
Here's a pretty mess, in a month or less. I must die without a wedding, left the bitter tears I'm shedding witness my distress. Here's a pretty mess, here's a pretty mess.
Here's a state of things, to her life she clings. Matrimonial devotion doesn't seem to suit her notion, burial it brings. Here's a state of things, here's a state of things.
With a passion that's intense, I worship her and adore. The laws of common sense we ought to ignore. If what she says is true, tis death to marry you. Here's a pretty state of things, here's a pretty howdy-do. Here's a pretty state of things, a pretty state of things.
Here's a howdy-do,
here's a howdy-do.
Here's a howdy-do.
For if what he says is true, I cannot marry you. Here's a pretty, pretty state of things.
Here's
a pretty how-d'ye-do.
Oh, my poor boy, I'm really very sorry for you.
Well, thanks, old fellow, I'm sure you are.
You see, I'm quite helpless.
Yes, I quite see that.
Oh, I can't conceive anything more distressing than to have one's marriage broken off at the last moment. Well, you shan't be disappointed of a wedding. You shall come to mine.
Well, that's very kind of you, but I'm afraid it's impossible.
Well, why so?
Well, today I die.
What do you mean?
Well, I can't live without Yum Yum. No, today I will perform the happy dispatch.
No, pardon me, I can't allow that.
And why not?
Why, hang it all, you're under contract to die by the hand of the public executioner in a month's time. If you kill yourself, what's to become of me? I shall have to be executed in your place.
Oh, it would certainly seem so.
Now then, Lord Mayor, what is it?
The Mikado and his suite are approaching the city and will be here in 10 minutes.
The Mikado? He's coming to see whether his orders have been carried out. Now look here, this is getting serious. A bargain's a bargain, and you really mustn't frustrate the ends of justice by committing suicide. As a man of honor and a gentleman, you're bound to die ignominiously by the hands of the public executioner.
Very well, then. Behead me.
What now?
Certainly, at once.
Chop it off, chop it off!
Oh, my good sir, I don't go about prepared to execute gentlemen on a moment's notice. Why, I never even killed a love bug.
Still, as Lord High Executioner...
Oh, my good sir, as Lord High Executioner, I've got to behead him in a month. I'm not ready yet. I don't know how it's done. Oh, I'm going to take lessons. I mean to begin with the guinea pig, and work my way through the animal kingdom until I come upon a second trombone. Why, you don't suppose as a humane man who would have accepted the post of Lord High Executioner if I had thought the duties purely nominal? Oh, I can't kill you. I can't kill anything. I can't kill anybody.
Yes.
Oh, come, old fellow. After all, we all have unpleasant duties to perform at times. If I don't mind, why should you? Remember, it must be done sooner or later.
Must it? I'm not so sure about that.
What do you mean?
Why should I kill you when making an affidavit that you've been executed will work just as well? Here are plenty of witnesses. Lord Chief Justice, Lord High Admiral, Commander-in-Chief, Secretary of State for the Home Department, First Lord of the Treasury, and Chief Commissioner of Police.
But where are they?
There they are. You'll all swear to it, won't you?
Am I to understand that all of us high officers of state are to perjure ourselves to ensure your safety?
Why not? You'll be grossly insulted, as usual.
Will the insult be cash or credit?
It will be a ready money transaction.
Well, it will be a useful discipline. Very well, then choose your fiction and I'll endorse it. Family pride. How do you like that, my buck?
But I tell you that life without Yum Yum would be most
Yum Yum, Yum Yum! Father Yum Yum! Here, commissionaire, go and fetch Yum Yum. Take Yum Yum and marry Yum Yum, only go away and never come back again. Here she comes. Yum Yum, are you particularly busy?
Not particularly.
You 5 minutes to spare?
Yes.
Then go along with His Grace the Archbishop of Titipu. He'll marry you at once.
But if I'm to be buried alive...
Don't ask questions, but do as I tell you, and Nanki will explain all.
Oh, but one moment.
Oh, not for worlds. Here comes the Mikado, no doubt to ascertain whether I've obeyed his decree, and if he finds you alive, I shall have the greatest difficulty persuading him that I beheaded you. Oh, close thing that, for here he comes. Huh?
Sama ono mono ayani Hira hira sugu no bana jiana Ogo toya me na Me so hungry, let's get sushi at the money tempura Teriyaki soba noodle California roll. Taiwan unagi da.
From every kind of man obedience I expect. I'm the Emperor of Japan.
And I'm his daughter-in-law elect. He'll marry his son, he's only got one, to his daughter-in-law elect.
My morals have been declared particularly correct.
But they're nothing at all compared with those of his daughter-in-law elect. Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect.
Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect.
In a fatherly kind of way, I govern each tribe and sect. I'll cheerfully own my sway.
Except his daughter-in-law elect, as tough as a bone, with a will of her own, is his daughter-in-law elect.
My nature is love and life, my freedom from all defect.
He's insignificant, quite compared to his daughter-in-law elect. Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect.
Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect.
A more humane Mikado never did in Japan exist. To nobody's second, I'm certainly reckoned a true philanthropist. It is my very humane endeavor to make, to some extent, each evil liver a running river of harmless merriment. My object all sublime I shall achieve in time, let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pent, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment. All deadly doubts
Society sinners who chatter and bleat and bore are sent to hear sermons by long-winded vermin who preach from 10 till 4. The wafer-thin models who strut on the catwalk and need to swallow their pride are tied to a rack and force-fed a Big Mac and also Kentucky Fried. Real estate agents whom anyone catches their doom's extremely hard. They're made to dwell in a house to sell, with the walls all smeared with lard. The roof is leaking, the cooler's broken, the neighbors have come from hell. With structural movement, there's room for improvement, and a novelty chime doorbell. My object, oh sublime, I shall achieve in time. Let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner bent, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
His object all sublime, he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner bent, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
The advertising quack who wearies with tales of countless cures, his teeth I've enacted shall all be extracted by terrified amateurs. The man obsessed by Dolphins football, I'll boldly change his life. He'll be forced to spend every winter weekend shopping for shoes with his wife. Celebrities whose careers have stalled by drinking late night in bars, their stuff they must strut, or they will be cut by dancing from Vero stars. The idiot on railway carriages scribbles on window panes. We'll see how he suffers when lashed to the buffers of all aboard Florida train. My object is sublime, I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner bent, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
His object all sublime, he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner bent, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
I am honored to be permitted to welcome Your Majesty. I've guessed the object of Your Majesty's visit. Your wishes have been attended to. The execution has taken place.
Oh, you've had an execution, have you?
Yes, the coroner has just handed me the certificate.
I am the coroner.
And this is the certificate of his death? Oh, in Titty-Poo, in the presence of the Lord Chancellor, Lord Chief Justice, Secretary of State for the Home Department, Lord Mayor, and groom for the second floor front.
They were all present, Your Majesty. I counted them myself.
Very good, House. I wish I'd been in time for the performance.
Oh, a tough fellow he was, too. A man of gigantic strength. His struggles were terrific. It really was a remarkable scene.
Describe it.
The criminal cried as he dropped him down in a state of wild alarm.
With a cry frightful, frantic, fearful frown. I bared my big right arm. I seized him by his little pigtail, and on his knees held he. As he squirmed and struggled and gurgled and guggled, I drew my sleeveless sleeve. My sleeveless sleeve. Never shall I forget the cry, the shriek that shrieked he, as I gnashed my teeth, and from my sheath I drew my snicker sleeve.
You know him well, he cannot tell unto the loudest tales. He always tries to rouse your lights, and every time he fails.
He shivered and shook as he gave the sign for the stroke he didn't deserve. When all of a sudden his eye met mine, and it seemed to brace his nerve. For he nodded his head and kissed his hand and whistled an ardently, as the saber drew, cut cleanly through his cervical vertebrae. His vertebrae. When a man's afraid, a beautiful maid is a cheering sight to see. And it's so I'm glad that moment sad was soothed by sight of me.
A terrible tale you can't assail into the light of dreams. And makes exact of what is act amount to all disease.
Now though you'd have said that it was dead, for its own not dead was here. It stood on its neck with a smile well bred, and bowed 3 times to me. It was none of your impudent oaf had naught but as humble as could be. For it clearly knew the deference due to a man of pedigree. It couldn't forget the deference due to me.
It's haunting you, these things are true, whenever he finds it ways. And in this case, it all took place exactly as he said.
Exactly, 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 exactly as he said.
All this is very interesting, and I wish I had been there, but we came about a totally different matter. A year ago, my son, the heir to the throne of Japan, bolted from the imperial court.
Indeed. Any reason to be dissatisfied with his position?
None whatsoever. On the contrary, I was going to marry him. And yet he fled.
I am surprised he should have fled from one so lovely.
That's not true.
No.
You hold that I am not beautiful because my face is plain. You know nothing. You are still unenlightened. Learn, then, it is not in the face alone that beauty is to be sought. My face is unattractive.
It is.
But my left shoulder blade is a miracle of loveliness. People come from miles to see it. And my right elbow has a fascination few can resist.
Allow me.
It is on view Tuesdays and Fridays on presentation of visiting card. As for my circulation, it is the largest in the world.
And yet he fled.
band is now masquerading in this town, disguised as a second trombone.
A second trombone?
Yes. Would it be troubling you too much to ask you to produce him? He goes by the name of...
Nanky Poo.
Nanky Poo.
It's quite easy. That is, it's rather difficult. In point of fact, he's gone abroad.
Gone abroad? His address?
Orlando?
Oh, no!
Oh, what's the matter?
See here, his name, Nanky Poo, beheaded this morning. Oh, where shall I find another? Where shall I find another?
Dear, this is most tiresome. My poor fellow, in your anxiety to carry out my wishes, you've beheaded the heir to the throne of Japan.
I beg to offer an unqualified apology.
I desire to associate myself with an expression of regret.
We really hadn't the least notion.
Of course you hadn't. How could you? Come, my dear fellow, don't distress yourself. It was no fault of yours. If a man of exalted rank chooses to disguise himself as a second trombone, he must take the consequences. Oh, it really distresses me to see you take on so. I've no doubt he thoroughly deserved all he got.
Oh, we are infinitely obliged, Your Majesty.
Much obliged, Your Majesty.
Very much obliged, Your Majesty.
Oh, obliged? Not a bit. Don't mention it. How could you tell?
No, there's no way we could have really known who he was.
It wasn't written on his forehead, you know.
It might have been written on his pocket handkerchief, but Japanese don't use pocket handkerchiefs.
I forget the punishment for compassing the death of the heir apparent.
Punishment?
Yes. Something lingering with boiling oil, I fancy. Something of that sort. I think boiling oil occurs in it. But I'm not sure. I know it's something humorous, but lingering. With either boiling oil or melted lead. Oh, come, don't fret. I'm not a bit angry.
If Your Majesty would accept our assurance, we had no idea.
Oh, of course.
I knew nothing about it.
I wasn't even there.
That's the pathetic part of it. Unfortunately, the fool of an act says compassing the act of killing the heir apparent. There's not a word about a mistake.
No.
Or not knowing.
No.
Or having no notion.
No.
Or not being there.
No.
There should be, of course.
Yes.
But there isn't. Oh, that's the slovenly way in which these acts are always drawn. However, cheer up. It'll be all right. I'll have it altered. Next session.
Oh.
Now, let's see. About your execution. Will after luncheon suit you? Can you wait till then?
Oh, yes.
We can wait till then.
Then we'll make it after luncheon.
I don't want any lunch.
I'm really very sorry for you all, but it's an unjust world. And virtue triumphs only in theatrical performance. See how the fates their gifts allot. For A is happy, B is not, yet B is worthy, I dare say, of more prosperity than A.
Is B more worthy?
I should say he's worth a great deal more than A.
Yet A is happy, oh so happy, laughing ha ha, chaffing ha ha, nectar quaffing ha ha ha, ever joyous, ever gay, happy on deserving A, ever joyous, ever gay, happy on deserving A. If I were fortune, which I'm not, he should enjoy his happy lot, and A should die in misery. That he is assuming I am he.
But should A perish,
That should be, of course, assuming I am me. Me should be happy, oh so happy, laughing ha ha, chaffing ha ha, nectar quaffing ha ha ha, but condemned to die is he. Wretched meritorious he, but condemned to die is he. Wretched meritorious
Well, a fine mess you've got us into with your nodding head and the deference due to a man of pedigree.
Merely corroborative detail intended to give artistic verisimilitude to an otherwise bald and unconvincing narrative.
Corroborative detail indeed. Corroborative fiddlestick.
Oh, and you're just as bad as he is with your cock and bull stories about catching his eye and whistling in air. But that's so like you just have to go and put in your oar.
How about you and your big red dog?
And your snickersnee.
Well, never mind that now. There's only one thing left to be done. Nanky Poo hasn't started yet. He must come to life again, at once. Ah, here he comes. Nanky Poo, I've got good news for you. You're reprieved.
Oh, but it's too late now. I'm a dead man. And I'm off for my honeymoon.
Nonsense, a terrible thing has just happened. It seems that you're the son of the Mikado.
Yes. But that happened some time ago.
Is this a time for airy persiflage? Your father is here. And with Kadisha.
Oh, my father. And with Kadisha.
Yes, he wants you particularly.
And so does she.
Oh, but he's married now.
Oh, but bless my heart, what does that have to do with it?
Well, Kadisha claims me in marriage. But I can't marry her because I'm married already. Consequently, she will insist on my execution. And if I'm to be executed, then my wife will have to be buried alive.
You see our difficulty?
Oh, yes. I don't know what's to be done.
Oh, there is one chance for you. If you could persuade Kadisha to marry you, she will have no further claim on me. And in that case, I can come to life without any fear of being put to death.
I marry Kadisha?
I really think it's the only course.
But my good girl, have you seen her? She's something appalling.
Oh, but that is only her face. She has a left elbow, which people come from miles to see.
I am told her right heel is much admired by connoisseurs.
My good sir, I decline to pin my heart upon any lady's right heel.
Well, it comes to this. While Kadisha is single, I prefer to be a disembodied spirit. And once Kadisha is married, existence will be as welcome as the flowers in the spring. The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, breathe promise of merry sunshine. As we merrily dance and we sing, tra-la, we welcome the hope that they bring, tra-la, of a summer of roses and wine, of a summer of roses and wine. And that's what I mean when we say that a thing is as welcome as flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, the flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la.
The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, have nothing to do with the case. I've got to take under my wing, tra-la, a most unattractive old thing, tra-la, with a caricature of a face, with a caricature of a face. And that's when I mean when I say or I sing, oh, bother the flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la, oh, bother the flowers of spring.
Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la.
Alone and yet alive, all sepulchre, my soul is still my body's prisoner. Remote the peace that death alone can give. My doom to wait, my punishment to live. Hearts do not break, they sting and ache, for old love's sake, yet do not die. Though with each breath I long for death, as witnesseth the living eye, the living eye. Oh, living eye, come tell me why, when hope is gone, dost thou stay on? Why linger here where all is drear? Oh, living eye, come tell me why, when hope is gone, dost thou stay on? May not a cheated maiden die? May not a cheated maiden die?
Kadisha!
The miscreant who robbed me of my love. But vengeance pursues. They are heating the cauldron.
Kadisha! Behold the suppliant at your feet! Kadisha, mercy!
Mercy? Had you mercy on him? See here, you. You have slain my love. He did not love me, but he would have loved me in time. I am an acquired taste. Only the educated palate can appreciate me. I was educating his palate when he left me. Well, he's dead. And where shall I find another? It takes years to train a man to love me. Am I to go through the whole weary round again, and at the same time implore mercy for you who has robbed me of my parade? I mean, my pupil. And just as his education was on the point of completion, oh, where shall I find another?
Here!
What?
Kadisha, for years I have loved you with a white-hot passion that is slowly but surely consuming my very vitals.
Oh.
Shrink not from me. If there is aught of woman's mercy in your heart, shrink not from a lovesick suppliant, whose every fiber thrills at your tiniest touch. True, it is that, under a poor mask of disgust, I have endeavored to conceal a passion whose inner fires are broiling the soul within me. But the fires will not be smothered. They defy all attempts at extinction, and, breaking forth all the more eagerly for its long restraint, declares itself in words that cannot be schooled, that shall not be weighed, that should not be too severely criticized. Kadisha, I dare not hope for your love, but I will not live without it. Darling.
You whose hands still reek of the blood of my betrothed, you dare to speak words of passion to a woman you have so foully wronged?
I do. Accept my love, or I perish on the spot.
Oh, go to, for who knows so well as I that no one ever yet died from a broken heart?
You know not what you say. Listen. On a tree by a river, a little tomtit sang willow, tit willow. And I said to him, Dicky bird, why do you sit singing willow, tit willow? Is it weakness of intellect, birdie, I cried, or a rather tough worm in your little inside? With a shake of his poor little head, he replied, oh, willow, tit willow. He slapped at his chest as he sat on that bough, singing willow, tit willow. And a closed perspiration bespangled his brow. Oh, willow, tit willow. He sobbed and he sighed and a gurgle he gave. Then he plunged himself into the billowy wave, and an echo arose from the suicide's grave. Blub, 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 blub. Now I feel just as sure as I'm sure that my name isn't Willow, tit willow. That was blighted affection that made him exclaim, oh, willow, tit willow. And if you remain callous and obdurate, I shall perish as he did, and you will know why, though I probably shall not exclaim as I die. Oh, willow, tit willow, tit willow.
Did he really die of love?
He really did.
And all on account of that cruel little hen?
Yes.
Poor little chap.
It's an affecting tale and quite true. I knew the bird intimately.
Did you? He must have been very fond of her.
His devotion was something extraordinary.
Poor little chap. And if I refuse you, would you go and do the same?
At once!
No! Anything but that. Oh, I'm a silly little goose.
You are?
And you won't hate me because I'm just a teeny weeny wee bit bloodthirsty. Will you?
Hate you? Oh, Kadisha, is there not even beauty in bloodthirstiness?
My idea, exactly. There's beauty in the bellow of the blast. There's grandeur in the growling of the gale. There's eloquent outpouring when a lion is a-roaring and the tiger is a-lashing of its tail.
Yes, I'd like to see a tiger from the Congo or the Niger, and especially when lashing of its tail.
Ooh, volcanoes have a splendor that is grim, and earthquakes only terrify the dotes. But to him who's scientific, there is nothing that's terrific in a falling of a flight of thunderbolts.
Yes, in spite of all my meekness, if I have a little weakness, it's a passion for a flight of thunderbolts.
If that is so, sing Derry down Derry, it's evident very our tastes are one. Away we'll go and merrily, merry nor tawdily, tarry till the day is done.
Age. Do you fancy you are elderly enough? The information I'm requesting on a subject interesting is a maiden all the better when she's tough.
Throw out this white dominion, it's the general opinion that she'll last a good deal longer when she's tough.
Are you old enough to marry, do you think? Won't you wait until you're 80 in the shade? There's a fascination frantic in a ruin that's romantic. Do you think you are sufficiently decayed?
To the matter that you mention, I have given some attention, and I think I am sufficiently decayed. If that is so, sing Derry down Derry, it's evident very our tastes are one. Away we'll go and merrily, merry nor tawdily, tarry till the day is done. That is so, sing Derry down Derry, it's evident very our tastes are one. Away we'll go and merrily, merry nor tawdily, tarry till the day is done. Sing Derry down Derry, it's evidently merry nor tawdily, tarry till the day is done.
A capital lunch and we're quite ready. Have all the painful preparations been made?
Your Majesty, all is prepared.
Oh, then produce the unfortunate gentleman and his two well-meaning but misguided accomplices.
Mercy! 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 Mercy for Coco, mercy for Pity Sing, mercy even for Pooh-Bah.
I beg your pardon, I didn't quite catch that remark.
Mercy even for Pooh-Bah.
Mercy, for my husband that was to have been is dead, and I have just married this miserable object.
Oh, you've not been long about it.
Oh, we were married before the registrar.
I am the registrar.
I see. But my difficulty is that as you have slain the heir apparent...
The heir apparent is not slain.
Oh, bless my heart, my son.
And your daughter-in-law elected?
You traitor! You have deceived me!
Oh, yes! You are entitled to a little explanation, but I think you will do it better whole than in pieces.
Oh!
Your Majesty, it's like this. It is true that I stated that I had killed Nanki-Poo.
Yes, with most affecting particulars.
Merely corroborative detail intended to give artistic verisimilitude to another bold.
Will you refrain from putting in your oar?
Yeah.
It's like this. When Your Majesty says, let the thing be done, it's as good as done. Practically, it is done, because your majesty's will is law. Your majesty said, kill a gentleman, and a gentleman is told off to be killed. Consequently, that gentleman's as good as dead. Practically, he is dead. And if he is dead, then why not say so?
I see! Nothing could possibly be more satisfactory.
War is gone and married Yum Yum. No anger for Mary, for all will be married. I think you had better sit calm.
Come.
And join our expressions.
On this subject I pray you be dumb. Your notions, old man, you're not worth a penny. The word for your guidance is mum. You've a very good bargain in me.
On this subject we pray you be dumb. We think you had better sit come. You'll find there are many who went for a penny, who went for a penny. There are lots of good fish in the sea. There are lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea. There's lots of good fish in the sea, in the sea, in the sea, in the sea, in the sea.
The threatened cloud has passed away,
And fair shines the dawning day.
but though the nights may come too soon,
We've years and years of afternoon.
then let the throng our joy advance with laughing song and merry dance. And let the throng our joy advance with laughing song and merry dance, with laughing song and merry dance, with laughing song.